Just come to a seat first. Start to settle in, feel the ground underneath your bottom. Something easy, comfortable seat, just where you can practice sitting up nice and tall. And we'll start smoothing out our breath. So close your eyes. Take a big, deep breath in through the nose. A little bit more, a little bit more. Exhale, sigh it out the mouth. If you want more of those, you can take them at any time. If you're feeling settled, go ahead and close your lips and start to come to a nose-to-nose breath. Eyes closed, lips closed. Start noticing the air coming in the nose and out the nose. Try to smooth out anything that you can, because we're going to try to start exhaling deeply, really elongating the air coming out the nose. And start pushing that air down into the lower lungs. Take 5 breaths here. Focusing on smoothing out the breath and firing up that deep diaphragmatic breath. You should be able to feel your belly expand and contract. This is a place in your practice where you might set an intention, some higher intention for your practice. Maybe a mantra to start your day that you'll carry through the end of the day. And take 3 more breaths. We're just going to come onto our backs. So again, knees to the sky is what I'm going to suggest, and feet as wide as the mat. Start to bring your knees together. This is structured resting pose. Hands can go on the belly. And just check that breath again. You just settle in, bring the shoulders underneath, together under the back, hands on the belly. Start to really check in. Is your breath making it all the way down into the lower lungs? Maybe your knees don't come together, and that's okay. We're just sending them in that direction. All right, let's take our legs long. We've got a nice breath going. Legs go long. Take the feet to the right edge of the mat. Arms come up overhead. Take the arms to the right edge of the mat. We're going to make this banana stretch. Left foot could come over the right foot, and you could grab the left wrist with the right hand. I'm trying to keep the hips and the shoulders on the ground. So 3 more breaths on this side. It's a nice full body stretch. You should feel it down the left side of your body too. Maybe in the shoulders. I feel a little bit in the hips, especially with the crossed ankles. Inhale your way back to center. We'll take it to the other side. You decide if you want the crossed ankles or the grab the wrist. Really use the breath. Send it all through the body. Kind of intensifies that stretch. Helps you to feel it, the back stretching against the skin. It's good. Maybe you notice something different on this side than on the first side. 1 more breath. Make yourself straight and long again. 1 long line down the center of your yoga mat. And on the inhale, you're going to bring your knees to your chest and wrap your arms around them. Squeeze in. Nose can come up to knees. Maybe you lower the shoulders and take a little bit of rocking back and forth. I'm going to start to stretch into the hip creases. So you've got some choices. Let's just take the knees a little bit wider apart, hands on the knees, and we'll start to make some circles. So you pick which direction you go first. Maybe you can make those circles a little bit wider. Add some breath in. Take the opposite direction. A little bit of work for the abs to keep those ankles and knees the same distance apart as they're wandering around. All right, one more squeeze here. And we're gonna start to work towards happy baby. So if you don't wanna hit happy baby all the way, just holding on to the calves or the shins and bringing the knees in towards the elbows is a nice stretch. You wanna take the next step, you'll grab the outside of the feet with the hands and still keep trying to bring the knees into the armpits and trying to drop the tailbone towards the front of the mat, feeling as much of your back on the mat as you can. We're really working to feel a stretch in the hip creases. And again, some rocking back and forth never hurt. And you can take this all the way up to full happy baby by kind of straightening the knees just a little bit. I'm hoping for some stretch in the hip creases to warm up for some bigger leg stretches this morning. A few more breaths here. You've got an inversion, so we're getting an inversion in here, getting some big leg muscle stretches. Nice. All right, knees come back in together, give them another squeeze. We'll hold on to the left knee, take the right leg out long. You can come all the way to the mat. And we're imagining, come back to that body awareness. You're still imagining this long straight line on your mat, knowing that if you really looked up, you might see your leg off to the side. Really just without trying to look, just try to make yourself straighter. And then we're gonna take the left leg to the sky. So you decide where you're hanging on here. Behind the thigh, behind the calf, maybe your finger can go all the way up to the toe. The goal is to stretch the back of the leg. And we're trying to keep the kneecap to the ground. Just imagine it's going there. Trying to straighten both legs. The only goal here is to feel a stretch. So at any point you feel that stretch, whether your leg's over your head or your leg's way down here, that's what we're going for. All right, this part's tricky. So it is tricky for me anyway, maybe not for you. So you can grab your toe. We're gonna take this left leg out to the left. So mine's only gonna go that far. I'm gonna bend my knee and I can hold on to my toe, or I could bend my knee and hold on to my knee, but we're trying to get this stretch out to the side. So imagine we do this sometimes standing, taking that leg out to the side. When I do it standing, I hold on to my knee. Maybe you can keep your toe and stretch it out to the left. Just a couple more breaths here. Just being okay with the fact that our bodies are all different, built a little structurally different, and just our muscle tightness is different. It's okay. Bring the leg back in. We're going to take it all the way over to the side. So again, maybe it can stay up long. Maybe you need to bend the knee. And we're going to try to keep the left shoulder on the mat, which means my leg's not going to go all the way to the floor. Gaze can go to the left. That gives a little bit more stability. A couple more breaths here. Bring the leg back to center. Bend the knee. We're going to switch sides. And the right knee in, long leg to the sky. A few breaths here. Again, goal is stretching behind the back of the leg, behind the knee, down the calf, down the thigh, hamstrings, all those anatomy words. You can play around with pointing the toe or flexing the foot, maybe an ankle roll. And we're going to take this leg up to the side. Maybe it's different on this side. Here I think I can hold behind the knee. Shoulders on the ground. Trying to keep that left leg long and as flat as possible. One more good breath here. Inhale the leg back to center and we'll take it to the other, across the body. Ooh, good luck for me. I have this piece of furniture here to leverage. Maybe you have a wall or a piece of furniture or a bed. And maybe like me, you heard some cracks in your back. All right. As long as there's no pain. If there's pain, come out of this. All right, inhale that leg back to center. Squeeze both knees in. We're gonna roll up to, we're gonna roll right into down dog. Come right forward. I wanna be this way so I can demonstrate. So move front of the mat for me. All right, so let's feel into this first down dog. Hips to the sky, push away from the mat, and let's one at a time pedal the feet out. So bring the right heel to the ground, bend into the left knee. Really working on the calf stretch here. So pushing away and pushing the heel towards the ground, and then try to lift the hips to the sky a little bit more, and maybe you feel that stretch a little bit more intensely. Switch legs, bend into the right knee, push the left heel to the ground, and again, lift the hips to the sky. And then just pedal this out. All right, on an inhale, right foot comes between the hands. Drop the back knee. And put the top of the foot on the mat. Let's just push forward. We're supported with our hands, so we're not gonna hurt our knee. Feeling the stretch here in the left hip crease. Maybe you feel some in the right hip crease. And then send the hips back. Let's point the toes to the ceiling and take this runner's stretch or half splits. It feels so far from splits to me that we'll go with, I don't know, we'll go with half splits, it's fine. Long straight back, looking out to the horizon. You should feel it stretch behind the calf or on the calf. Ooh. Roll forward, and we're going to just come off the back knee and then rock yourself right up to marionette. So a little balancing right here. Marionette knee comes into the chest, arms can go to the sky. And let's catch a little balancing. So we'll take this into tree. Let's turn for you. You can stay right where you're at. Into tree, toe could be on the ground. It could be on the calf. It could be up in the thigh. It might be all the way up into the hip crease. Give yourself enough time to wobble, to fall over, to get straighter, lifting up out of that standing leg without locking the knee. And then we'll just take it into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bring both feet to the back of the mat. You can take a half vinyasa or just pop your hips up. You're in down dog. Perfect. Left foot comes forward. Drop to the back knee. And we'll lean forward again, getting that stretch in the hip crease. And take the hips back to the heel. Curl that toe under. Left toes go to the ceiling, long straight back. 2 more breaths here. Roll the foot forward, bring the hands closer to the front of the mat. Bring the back knee up, and if you can, it's gonna be one smooth motion to come into marionette. And an inhale, bring the knee into the chest. Ooh, good job. Hold here for 2 more breaths, and then we'll take it into tree. You choose your tree. Maybe this side's different. Maybe this side you need your toe on the ground. Few more breaths. If you're super steady, you can start to bend. Taking side bends on both sides. It's early for balancing. All right, take a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. So bring the hands to the feet to the back of the mat. Take a half vinyasa or pop your hips right back up into down dog. Great. All right, so maybe you're feeling some stretching. We're gonna take it to the next level, bringing this kind of off the mat. So on an inhale, bring the foot forward. And we're gonna take it right up into crescent. So inhale, arms come to the sky. Nice crescent, trying to lunge into the front knee. You might bend the left knee and then straighten it again to get a little bit lower. 2 more breaths here. Drop the shoulders, open it up into warrior 2. Again, about 3 breaths here to set this warrior 2. Hips squared to the long edge of the mat. Nice deep lunge.
Gaze out front over the fingers. Let's reverse it, keeping the lunge in the leg. Gaze goes up for 2 more breaths. Drop a little deeper. Keeping that lunge in the leg, we'll take side angle. Your elbow could be on your knee. Your hand could be on the floor. It could be inside the foot or outside the foot. It depends on where your body's gonna let that go. Now stay right here. On the inhale, we'll straighten the front knee, relief, and reverse it. Reverse warrior. And then inhale, arms in T. Exhale, take a triangle. Gaze goes up at the thumb. 2 more breaths. Inhale, come up into superstar. So feet are parallel to the short edge of the mat. Get tall, spread the fingers wide, tuck the tail into a long straight spine. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Really feeling that stretch from your toes to your pinky fingers. Take a little back bend, put some weight in the heels. Exhale, forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Hands come to the mat. This is letter A. Maybe you send your feet out a little bit wider. Trying to walk the heels of the hands in line with the heels of the feet. Lift the tail to the sky. Imagine in your mind's eye a long straight back, crown of the head coming all the way to the floor, or maybe underneath your behind, looking up at the sky. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale to center, and we'll take 1 more variation. Arms go out long. Exhale, forward fold. Grab your toes with your peace fingers and pull your head towards the ground. Maybe bending into the arms so you can use your biceps to come a little bit closer to the ground. Sending all of your attention, breath, energy to that stretch from the tailbone down to the feet. From here, look up about halfway, fingertips on the ground, and we're going to bend into the right knee, trying to keep the heel down if possible. Flipping the left toes to the sky, Skandasana to the right, or tiger lunge. You're really just trying to put some weight into the hips and the heel. On this side, I can keep the heel down. On the other side, I struggle. So just bringing the hands to the ground, walk yourself towards the front of the mat. We'll take this on the other side and you'll see the heel popped up. Try to get those toes to the sky. Look at them because they like to do this. Sending some weight into the hips, feeling the stretch all along this right leg. Now we're just going to walk our hands to what now is the back of my mat, the back of your mat. Finding yourselves set up to come right into crescent. So from here, we're going to come into crescent on the left leg. Gaze goes up. Drop a little bit deeper. Open into warrior 2. So hopefully we're getting the right side and the left side in. If not, please adjust. Open those hips to the long edge of the mat. Reverse the warrior. 2 more breaths here. Take side angle. You decide where your arm goes, but drop a little deeper into the lunge. Putting some attention in the legs. That's where the work is this morning. On an inhale, straighten the front knee. Reverse the warrior. 2 more breaths. Really reaching out of the hip. Inhale up to T. Exhale, triangle. Gaze is up at the thumb. Next inhale is going to bring you up to superstar. Here we are again. We'll take a couple more forward folds. Bring the hands to the hip. Lift the chest to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hands can stay on the hips. Start to bring the thumbs closer to one another. Imagine the elbows coming closer to one another.
And then send the head towards the mat, towards the floor. Lift the hips. On an inhale, come back to standing. This time hands come out in T. Let's bring them behind the back. Clasp the hands together, send the fists to the floor. Inhale the chest to the sky, put weight in the heels. Exhale, keeping the hands together, fold forward. And from here, maybe your hands, straight elbows, maybe your hands start to come off your back and over your head. I'm gonna stay right here working on straight elbows. These shoulders are not open. Hips to the sky, head to the floor. One more breath. Release the hands, bring them to the mat, come about halfway up, supported. We'll bend into the left knee and take that Skandasana tiger lunge to the back of the mat. Here you could bring your hands in prayer or keep them supported, really working that heel to the ground. If I'm supported and think about sending the hips back and don't feel like I'm gonna fall, heel can come down. Those are my tricks, my tips. Take this to the other side. This one is a challenge for me, but because the stretch is so good and that's what we're after today, I'm just gonna focus on the stretch I can get. One more breath here. Walk the hands back to the front of the mat, and we're just gonna step up to this forward fold. You decide if you need your feet and your heels together or a little further apart. And we're just gonna take it side to side. So clasped elbows or hands on the ground, and we'll just start to walk it to the right, feeling the twist in the side, in the hips, and walk it to the left. Great, come back to center, and we're gonna bring the right foot over the left foot. Feeling this different stretch. Maybe now on the left of my left calf, I can feel this stretch. So sending the head to the ground. 2 more breaths. And let's crisscross the feet, come halfway up. Change feet. Drop the crown of the head to the floor again, hips to the sky. Sending the breath, the attention, the focus to the calves. Bend into the knees maybe and then straighten them again. Don't lock anything out. 1 more breath. Uncross the feet. We're going to roll up, and whatever you need, I'm going to come this way. You can stay at the top of your mat. We're going to bring the feet a little bit wider, toes out, and we'll start to drop the hips down into a yogi squat. So if we're getting stretch in the legs, we had better do this one. Hands could be on the floor. You might be up on your toes, that's okay. We're going for the stretch all along this inner thigh. So a few breaths here. If you like to play around, you could go for crow, bring your toes off the ground. All we need is that inner stretch, so I'm gonna stay right here. Trying to straighten the back. Trying to push the elbows into the knees. Give it 3 more breaths. We're going to join together on our seats, legs out long. All right, however you want to get there. If you can do that trust fall, that'll come in handy later. Not today, but later. All right, legs out long. Just take a forward fold, again with the purpose of long leg stretching. So toes to the sky, inhale, arms up. It is early, so things are tight. If you need to bend your knees, that'll work too. Exhale, forward fold. And just bring the hands to wherever they'll touch. Your legs, your thighs, feet, ground. And just roll your chin into your chest. I'm trying to work the backs of my knees to the floor. But again, the stretch in this space, we're going to try for along the back of the legs versus the low back. But whatever you need, you can adjust the stretch to get there. A few more breaths here.
Just bring the heels and the feet together. I think I do this one every time. This cobbler's pose, I just really like the way it stretches my legs and my back. So cup the toes with your hands, sit up tall, and exhale, start to fold yourself forward, especially after that Malasana or Yogi's squat. This should feel pretty good. Long straight back, and then you can just tuck your chin into your chest, curl into this one. Not working so much on the spine this morning as we are on the legs. And it's quite early. Two more breaths. Inhale your way back up. Left leg goes long. Right knee to the sky, foot on the floor, except we're going to take it over the left leg. Take a twist this way. Kind of got these pretzel legs. Bring the left elbow crease along this right knee, right hand behind your hips. Start to twist from the waist. Gaze over the left shoulder. 3 more breaths here in this twist, using the air to lift you up. Exhale to squeeze you a little bit more into the twist. Trying to sit up as tall as you can. Unwind. Let's switch legs. Right elbow along the left knee. Fingertips come behind. Don't press into the fingertips. We're just trying to use them so we don't fall over. Gaze over the left shoulder, toes pointed towards the sky. 3 more breaths. You should feel that belly inflate against your leg. Start to unwind yourself. Come into an easy seat. Yeah, nice. Take a few breaths here. Just settling into the sits bones. Sending some breath into the lower lungs. Letting the shoulders come away from the ears. And we'll just take this a little bit backwards. Usually we start with side stretches. Let's take a couple here. Left hand to the floor, right arm to the sky, bend to the left. Reaching up and out of the arm socket, dropping the shoulders. Gaze can go up at the elbow, the armpit, the fingers. Depends on how big of a stretch you need this morning. Really feeling some weight into the right hip so you're grounded. Inhale, both arms to the sky, take it to the right. Last asana to really feel what the breath is doing in your body, knowing that's happening all day, but we'll take a moment to notice it here. Inhale, lifting, exhale, settling. Inhale, both hands to the sky, and one last forward fold. Bring the arms out in front. Crawl them as far as they'll go. Tuck the chin into the chest. 3 breaths here. Trying to keep the sits bones on the floor. Walk yourself back to a seat. Palms go up. Once more, settle yourself into the floor. Feel really, really grounded here. We're going to take 5 silent breaths just to settle and circulate all of the benefits of your practice this morning. A little shavasana, not shavasana. Bring the hands together. If it feels good, bring the thumbs to the third eye, give your third eye a little massage. Thank you so much for joining me for 6:30 a.m. Yoga or whatever time you're joining this today. Namaste.